Alright TM Nation, so I just did a video on the new Skullcandy Sesh ANC earbuds and I compared them to the older Evos and the OG Seshes. However, if you take a look at the specs and the design of the ANCs and compare them to the Grind Fuels, you'll see that they're really close. And to make things just a little more confusing, both the Grind Fuels and the Sesh ANCs retail for $100, but not only that, you also have the Grind earbuds that pretty much give you a similar experience to the Grind Fuels that cost $80. That being said, guys, in this video, I'm gonna highlight the main differences across these three pairs of earbuds so that you all can make a more informed buying decision. Starting off with the designs of the cases, the Grind and the Grind Fuel cases are gonna be exactly the same in terms of their size and shape. The main difference that you have between the two is the Grind Fuel case is wireless charging compatible while the Grind case is not. And one thing that I do want to note for you guys is that you can always tell which Skullcandy cases have this feature because they will have a lightning bolt somewhere on the outside. Now, as you can see, the inside of the Grind Fuel case also does have orange accents, but everything else appears to be the same, from the indicator lights under the lid to the USB Type-C charging ports in the back. On the other hand, the Sesh ANC case is a completely different design and shape, so it's gonna come down to your personal preference in terms of what you like best. Unfortunately, the Sesh ANC case does not support wireless charging, and even though the battery indicator lights are on the outside, you have to open up the top lid in order to trigger them. As far as the battery specs go, both the Grind Fuels and the Grinds offer you up to 9 hours on a charge and about an extra 31 with the case for a total of 40. With the Sesh ANCs, you can get up to 9 hours on a charge and up to 46 with the case, but in order to get anywhere near those numbers, you're gonna have to toggle ANC off. If you don't and you choose to use ANC on pretty much the whole time, you're gonna get closer to 6 on a charge and 32 total. Now moving on and taking a look at the designs of the earbuds, as you can see, they all have a similar shape and design, but the ANCs are a little bit larger. Now, all three pairs feel completely fine in my ears, and even though the ANCs are slightly larger, they have never felt uncomfortable. All three pairs are IP55 dust and water resistant. This being the case, you never have to worry about exercising in them. Splashes of water and sweat will not harm them. I also want to mention for you guys that the Sesh ANCs are going to be your best bet for mobile gaming. This is because they have a low latency mode and they're also using Bluetooth 5.2. The Grind and Grind Fuel earbuds are packing 5.2 and 5.0 respectively, but neither of those has a built-in low latency mode, so just keep this in mind. One thing to take into consideration, guys, is that although all three pairs are compatible with the Skullcandy app, the functionality is not exactly the same. The features are going to be a little bit different with the Grind and Grind Fuel since these do not have ANC, but to make up for this, you do get options with these that you do not get with the Sesh ANCs. The Grind and Grind Fuels will allow you to use the Skull IQ functionality, which is basically a voice assistant that will complete many of the functions you would normally need your device or your controls for. In my experience, it works well for the most part. You can use this functionality to take a selfie for you, share your audio with another pair of compatible Skullcandy earbuds, and much more. Hey Skullcandy, pause. Not only that, guys, I do want to mention that you get one feature with the Grind Fuels that you do not get with the other two pairs. With them, you can have the app create your own custom sound profile that is optimized to your hearing. Now, although you do have the ability to create your own custom EQ with both the ANCs and the Grinds, the sound profile test is not a feature that they offer at the moment. Another thing to note is that all three pairs do feature a transparency mode, which Skullcandy calls Stay Aware mode, but the only pair that allows you to adjust the strength are the Sesh ANCs. On the other hand, you can customize your playback controls with both the Grinds and the Grind Fuels, but this is not an option with the ANCs. So moving on and touching on the sound quality, guys, I really do wish I could tell you there's a world of difference across these earbuds, but there really isn't that my ears can pick up. One thing that I can say is that I think the sound gets to your ears a little bit more unobstructed with the Sesh ANCs just because you have active noise cancellation helping you out there. But besides that, guys, being completely honest, I think that you can get really similar sound signatures on all of these depending on how you EQ them. I do like the personalized sound feature that you get with the Grind Fuel earbuds. The EQ that it created for me is awesome, but I have to say that I was able to get similar results with the ANCs and the grinds just by creating my own custom EQ. That being said, guys, with all three pairs, I have been able to get some nice clarity across the highs and mids while maintaining that deep and punchy Skullcandy bass. As far as call quality goes, guys, the Grind and Grind Fuel earbuds sound the same based on my testing, but it is worth noting that the Sesh ANCs use a new mic system that's aimed at focusing on your speech and getting rid of some of your ambient noise. Now, I do think it works well, but I will take some samples for you guys so that you can judge for yourselves. Let's check them out. Alright guys, so right now I have the Grind earbuds paired to my iPhone 13 Pro. As you can see, the microphones on them are providing you with this audio. I'm not going to do any type of editing to this sample, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these will perform for voice calls. And now I'm still using the Grind, but now I have some simulated background noise playing in the background. What I'm going to do is be quiet for a moment just so that you guys can hear how loud it is. So this part of the test is aimed at seeing how well these will get rid of some of your ambient noise and focus on your speech. And now I'm using the Grind Fuel earbuds with the exact same setup, and like the first test, I'm not going to do any type of editing to this audio, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these will perform for voice calls. And again, now I have the simulated background noise playing in the background. This should give you a pretty good idea of how these will cancel out some of your ambient noise and focus on your speech. And now I have the Sesh ANCs paired to my iPhone 13 Pro. This is the exact same setup, so this should give you a pretty good idea of how these will perform for voice calls. Still using the Sesh ANCs now, and I do have the background noise playing in the background. I'll be quiet for a moment so that you guys can hear it. So there you have it, guys. This should show you guys how well the Sesh ANCs will focus on your speech and reject some of the ambient noise going on around you. So taking everything into consideration, guys, if you have to have active noise cancellation, then your choice is simple. Go for the Sesh ANCs because they're the only pair that offer this. However, if I had to pick one pair out of the bunch, it would definitely be the Grind Fuels for a couple of reasons. The first being that although they don't have ANC, the way that they fit down into your ears really provides a nice level of passive noise canceling. I also like the app features better with them than what you'll get with the ANCs, but for me the wireless charging is the deciding factor. To be honest guys, this feature is significant for me just because I have wireless charging pads all throughout my home, but if it's not that important to you, my advice would be to save 20 bucks and get the grinds. But all in all, fam, I have used all three pairs quite a bit and I don't think that you'll go wrong with any of them. Before you get on out of here, if you rock with the channel and your boy Tech Mo, hit that subscribe button and knock that notification bell out so you won't miss any of my uploads. Welcome to TM Nation. Peace.